It's the peak of summer vacation and the warning signs are up. In this area, they've been up for decades. If families in the South Bay want to enjoy a day at the beach, they have to head north, away from the never-ending pollution from Mexico.
The south end of Imperial Beach has been closed 555 consecutive days. Our premier beach stretch in Imperial Beach has been closed 179 days. We have an entire generation of kids that don't know what it is to access clean water.
The clean water crisis dates back to the 1930s, believe it or not, when Tijuana just started growing. Almost 100 years later, the population has skyrocketed and so has the toxic waste. Over the decades, it has poisoned millions of people. The question is, how many more will be poisoned before this environmental crime is finally stopped?
Let's fix it at the source. Let's stop having overflows. Let's stop having pump failures. And most important, let's stop developing in Tijuana and surrounding areas without the proper infrastructure. They've not been doing their job for generations.
Hoping to get the attention of the state and federal governments on both sides of the border, the County of San Diego will be asking for a federal state of emergency for the pollution in the Tijuana River Valley.
We've never had a federal emergency for this issue before in San Diego County. And this would be an unprecedented step.
The entire South Bay coastal area has already been declared a health hazard by the county, but declaring a state of emergency at a federal level could trigger a much bigger reaction.
First, it would hopefully be able to bring us more money. Secondly, I think it would be able to get shovels in the ground faster for money that's already been appropriated. And third, it would really prioritize and supercharge the conversations that our administration in the United States are having with their counterparts in Mexico.
Of course, it doesn't really matter what we do on the American side of the border if the Mexican government is not given strong incentive to stop poisoning the environment. This will never end, no matter how much money we spend on our side of the border.
Some of it is well beyond the $600 million or $1 billion that we expect to spend, but most of it has to be done upstream. And that means that what we're trying to do is plan for construction that is mostly going to be in Mexico.
All right, back here in Coronado, and yes, it is open. It's open all the way down to the Silver Strand. That was not the case just a couple of days ago. It just reopened because the water cleared up a little bit. As for Imperial Beach, as you heard from Paloma Gary, it has been closed and will remain closed. As for the vote tomorrow on the state of emergency from the county, it could actually be very, very important. It will send a message to the state legislature and the governor so they can possibly declare a state of emergency. And if the state declares it, perhaps the federal government and President Biden will listen. By the way, that new Office of Environmental Justice that was just created by the Biden administration, well, Imperial Beach is the poster child for environmental injustice and has been for the last 40 years. It's time to stop the madness. We're at Coronado Shores. Dan Plant, KUSI News.